Now be sure that you watch the past 2 training videos on Introduction to Mail Merge, because these next couple of training videos are going to be more about the advanced options. For example, as you recall in the previous training videos on Mail Merge, we used the letter here, one copy that we inserted or merged all the customers in my database into that one letter, that when we started the Mail Merge it actually duplicated that letter, one for each customer in my database. Well, instead of letters, I now want to show you Mail Merge when it comes to labels, envelopes, emails, and directories. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and use the letter that we used in the previous training video. And as you recall, when the letter's linked to the database, when I double click on it, it's going to ask me if I want to go ahead and continue linking to it. If I choose no, then I'll have to choose another database, or I can choose the same one. It's just that it's not going to be linked. So I'm going to go ahead and choose yes. Opens it up. There's my letter. And it has a sample of one record in preview mode here, like Dear Homer and how many videos he purchased. Those are the 2 merge fields that I inserted. But if I want to make changes to the merge fields, or maybe choose another database, come up here, click on the Mailings tab, go to the Start Mail Merge group, click on the Start Mail Merge drop-down arrow, and go to Step by Step. Now over in the task pane, it takes me right to step 3 of 6 because we have this linked up to our database. And what database is it? It's my mailing list Excel workbook database, as we went over in the previous training videos. Now if I want to go ahead and change the merge fields, of course you can come up here on the Mailings tab to the right and insert fields, click on the drop down arrow, add some more, or delete the ones that you currently have within your letter here. And I can't tell where my merge fields are at unless I come up here and click on highlight the merge fields, and you can see it highlights them in gray, as well as this one right here, because that's the dynamic date field. It updates automatically to today's date every time I open it up. So your shaded fields are your dynamic fields. And if I'm like, wait, that's not a merge field, let me go ahead and click on the button again to unhighlight those merge fields. Come up here and deselect the preview results, and then I can see my merge fields because it has those, because as you can see it's got those little arrows double on each side to say that that's a merge field. In any case, you know how to change those. If I want to go ahead and link this letter to a different database, of course you can come over here and select a different list. Or I want to go over this a bit more here. Instead of typing in a new list or using our existing one, how about the database that we have in our Outlook contacts? First of all, what's Outlook? Well, it's another Microsoft application program that, to oversimplify, sends and receives email. Well, it does so much more than that, but it's an email program. The additional features in Outlook include a database where you can keep track of your contacts. It's got fields for you automatically set up where you can type in your contact's name, email address, website, keep track of their birthdays, and, well, so much more. Also, it has a calendar that you can schedule appointments and have pop-up reminders for those appointments. A task feature that allows you to schedule tasks and have pop-up reminders for the task, a journal, and, well, you can learn more about it by watching my Outlook 2010 training videos, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and select it. Now, if you don't have Outlook, then just go ahead and glaze over this part. In any case, select it, come down here, click on Choose Contacts Folder. It opens up, and the default profile name should be Outlook, but if you have another profile that you created, go ahead and click on the drop-down arrow, select it, otherwise leave it as Outlook. Click OK. And then it says, okay, within the Outlook program I see 2 databases. You have your original contacts database, and then you have the suggested contacts database. And there's a total of 1 record in this one and 2 records in that one. Which one do you want? I'll select contacts, click okie dokie, and then it opens up and it says, okay, here's the contact. Now notice, this is interesting. Because I'm selecting another database, the first name field isn't first name. In this database, they have first name as just first. So I'm going to be running into some issues here. In that, I still have my merge fields, my old merge fields from the previous database. Now I'm trying to link up to another database. It's not going to work. But because I have name, it's going to look at first name and go, that's not first. We have issues. And not only that, but videos. If you look in here in my contacts database, it doesn't have videos. I mean, trust me, it's not there. So let me click OK. And the issues come when I come up here and I click on Preview Results. When I click on it, it says, okay, we've got an invalid merge field. And the first one is first name. There it is, first name. And what it tries to do is it tries to find its complement in the other database, the Outlook contacts, and saying, well, we have a first here that we use for first name. Maybe that's what it is. So you've got 2 choices. You can either remove the invalid merge field from the main document, which removes it there, or you can replace it with the valid merge field, which is the first one here, and it gives you a sample. So it's not something really outrageous like first name, and then down here it has the person's street address. So it gives you those fields, and then you get a sample of what it's going to look like. Okay. So I can click remove field and it removes it. Then it goes to the next field that's not in the database, where it doesn't match a field in the other database. And it's videos. Let me click and drag. There it is, videos. And it says, well, it could be first. Click on the drop down arrow and try to find if you have a videos field, or if there's something that's named differently but contains the same data in a different database, and try to match it up. Maybe it's down here somewhere under entry ID. I don't know. Maybe in that other database for videos, you didn't find a videos field, so you said, okay, I'll just put in the number of videos in the entry ID. Go ahead and match it up, select it, gives you sample data of what's in there, and it doesn't look good. In any case, I'm going to go ahead and click remove the field. So what I can do, since I'm now linked to the contacts folder in Outlook, that database, I'm going to have to go ahead and start over again, and you get the idea, Dear who, well, come up here and click in the insert merge field, and you got a lot of fields there. First name, last name, we can do first, and then because it's in preview mode, it pulls them in, space, let's insert last, and I don't have a field for videos, so I'll just say thank you for purchasing training videos, okay? Okay, other options. Let's go ahead and click on previous to go back to step 1. Instead of doing letters, how about an email message? Go ahead and select that, click next. And then it changes the format. You don't have your left and right margins here. That's alright, because emails usually don't. Then just go ahead and continue on following the wizard, as we learned in the previous training videos. You can use the current document, the text in here, delete it, type in some text, start from a template. When you select that, you'll get the option to go ahead and choose that template. Start from an existing document. It'll give you the option to choose another document. I'm going to go ahead and use the current document, and oh, there's an extra space right there. Let me get rid of it. Hit the backspace. Okay, so we got the comma next to the last name. Click next. Now we have all the recipients being pulled in from my Outlook program in the contacts database. I can go ahead and edit the list that's being pulled in, uncheck those who I don't want pulled in, but I only have one, so okay. Let's go ahead and click next to write our email message here. When I click next, it takes me out of the preview, and it's got my first and last name merge fields. Go ahead and type whatever other text I want. Insert other merge fields. When I'm done, just go ahead and click next to preview the email message, and then as you recall in the previous training video, it's all there. Let me just quickly go over the differences, okay? The differences between what we learned in the first training videos on mail merge and these advanced options that we have. So you know about the recipients, how to bounce back and forth, exclude recipients. In any case, let's go ahead and click next and complete the merge. When I do that, it gives me the electronic mail link. So it says mail merge is ready to produce your email messages. Click on it. And then it says, okay, who do you want to address it to? Well, their email address. You can choose other fields like their home fax, business fax. Let's keep it simple at the email address. And then the subject line is the mail format. Well, you learned about that in my Outlook training videos there, but in any case, you get a plain text HTML or attached. I'm just going to do HTML. In my opinion, the best format, because you get formatted text that you can include. And then send it to all the records. Click OK. And then you can see down below the Outlook icon right there. And let's go ahead and open up Outlook. Click on the Start button. Let's go to Microsoft Outlook 2010. Click on it to open it up. And it's in the outbox right there. It's going to be sent off. There's the title, thank you. In fact, if I double click on it, I can quickly open it up and glance over, and it's, well, addressed to him. He's got his email address, thank you, cool. So I can just go ahead and click send, and then it sends it off. Of course, it's going to come back because that's a felonious email address, but you get the point. And by the way, there's the contacts database right here. Click on it. You can see Barney 5, the only contact I have in my database here. And then there's suggested contacts as well. I'm going to go ahead and close out of here and continue with the other options in the next training video. Okay, continuing on from the previous training video, let's come over here in the task pane and choose envelopes. Do a mail merge with envelopes. Come down here, click next. Do I want to change the document layout or start from an existing document? Now, I'm going to go ahead and come down here and choose an envelope size, because when this prints off and I stuff the envelopes in my printer, this is way too big. So I'm going to go ahead and choose envelope options. Size 10 is the default, or the ones that I'm going to be using. Click Okie dokie. And it says in order to apply the selected envelope option, Word must delete the current contents of the merged letter. I mean, that's okay, because really, we're changing it entirely. We're not going to have the letter printed on the envelope, right? We're doing a mail merge that includes, well, me, the sender, the address and the receiver who we're sending the envelope to. So we'll click OK. Cleans off everything. You got the size of the envelope, and let's go ahead and click Next to select our recipients. And I'm not going to use the contacts in my Outlook program, but select a different list, which is on the desktop in the exercises folder. As you recall, in the beginning training video of Mail Merge, my mailing list Excel workbook, and click Open. And I'm going to be using the records on worksheet 1. Click Okie dokie. There they are. I don't want to include the blank record, as you recall, and click OK. Great. Go ahead and click Next to arrange the envelope, or better yet, to not only insert my fields here of who I'm sending it to, but also let me type in who it's from. Okay, once I'm done there, there's actually a text box down here. You can't see it, but if you come up here on the Home tab, go to the paragraph, turn on your Show Hide Codes, you can see there's a paragraph marker right there. You click inside of it, now you can see the text box, and that's where our merge fields go, because those are the people who we're sending this envelope to, or their address that we're addressing them to in this mail merge. So click in there, come back up here, click on the Mailings tab, and I can insert the merge fields. Like insert first name, space, last name, hit enter. You get the idea. Address 1, hit enter. Quickly do this, city, comma, insert merge field state, and then space bar, and then zip code. That's it. Then I can just come up here, click on preview results. Let me go back to the Home tab and turn off the Show Hide Codes. And it looks pretty good. Let's just go ahead and continue on. Click on Next to preview the envelopes. Like we learned in earlier training videos, we can go from one recipient to the next to see how they pull their information. You can view it over here as you're clicking the arrows, and then you can exclude recipients, edit the recipient list. Let's go ahead and complete the merge. Then I can come over here and either print it, so it prints off one envelope at a time, or I can click on Edit Individual Envelopes. Choose all, click OK. Now this may look a little disconcerting to you, but remember, in our basic Word Level 1 training video on printing, when you go to the print preview, what you see there is what you get. So this looks odd, but when you come up here, click on File, go down to Print, look at the print preview. Oh, that's nice. It doesn't look as spooky as when we come back up here and click on the File tab and it looks like this isn't going to print. It will. It'll print correctly. Just make sure that you have the envelopes inserted correctly into the printer, okay? Cool. I'm going to go ahead and close out of here, not save it. Let me go ahead and close out of here, not save that, and let's go back to our merge letter and say yes, we want to be linked to our database. And then let me show you the rest. Click on Mailings, click on Start Mail Merge, step by step. Takes me to step 3. Let's go back to the start here. Okay, letters, email messages, envelopes. Let's do labels now. Click Next. Now we need to choose our labels. Click on the Label Options link. Now on the box of labels that you purchased, it should have a listing of a vendor. Click on the drop-down arrow. If it's Microsoft, choose Microsoft. I'm going to choose Avery US Letter. And then down below there should be a product number on the box, because when you select the product number, it actually has the label information already inputted in for you. The height of the label, the width, the page size. If you can't find the product number, then you may want to click and create your own label. Click on New and put in the dimensions. Labels height, width, how many labels across, how many labels down on an 8.5 by 11 inch page. Also the margins, vertical pitch, and then the name. I'm going to click Cancel because for the most part you should be able to find your product number here. Let me scroll down here and it's right there, 5160 Easy Peel address label. It's got a 1 inch height, 2.63 width on an 8.5 by 11. Click OK. Then it says, look, in order for us to go ahead and change this to a label layout, you're going to lose everything here. Are you okay with that? Yes, click OK. And there we go. Now, by default, you probably won't see the grid here. So you may have to come up here, click on the Layout tab, go to the Table group, and click on View Grid Lines, because when I click on it, it turns it off. Click on it again, then you can see it. It makes it a lot easier for me to see how the labels are going to be displayed or distributed over the page here. Then come over here, click Next. Let's select our recipients, a database, or go ahead and type in a new list. I like the database that we're linked to, my mailing list, so let's go ahead and click Next again. When I do that, it automatically puts in the code next record, because when I insert my merge field, we want it to go to the next record, right? We don't want the first record to be duplicated in this label, that label, and all the others. We want a label for each record within the database, okay? So all I need to do now really is to insert the merge fields by either coming up here, clicking on the Mailings tab, and of course, clicking on Insert to first name, hit the space bar, clicking on Insert to last name, which is a waste because, let me delete that. We have the address block over here, as you recall, in the beginning training videos on mail merge, is that the address block, let me click on it, has the first name, street address, city, state, and zip code. All you have to do is come over here and choose the format if you want a junior, or you don't want their titles here, but just maybe their first name. In any case, I do want their first and last name. You can see it over in the preview, Homer Simpson, street address, city, state, and zip code. Click Okie dokie. It adds the merge field here, but it doesn't add them in all the other fields, and that's important because if we don't add them in the other fields, we only have one label that will be printed, and that's for the first record. So I can either come up here, select it, and copy it, and paste it in all the other labels, or better yet, when I'm in this label here, or in that cell, just come down here in the task pane and click on Update All Labels, and it automatically copies what the other labels don't have that's in the first label here into the others. So we take the first record, displays it there, then it goes to the next record, displays the fields there, then the next record displays the fields there, and so on. Of course, you can hit enter and type in some other text like "Have a great day." Okay. Again, because it's not in all the other cells, when I have my cursor flashing in that one, I click update, it copies it and puts it in all the other cells. Pretty cool. Okay, let me go ahead and hit undo because we don't want to do that. Next, let's go ahead and preview the labels. Click on next. And I've got more than just these two records here, but the only way I can find and see the other records is to come up here and click on the back arrow, and then it pushes it over. So I have 3 here. When I click on forward, it just pushes them out, and it's just displaying because it's scrolling through all the records. If I had 30,000 records, well, guess what? I only have 1 page. It's not going to create like 500 pages for the 30,000 records, or however you do the math. I don't have my calculator here with me. It'll just show you 1 page, and you can go ahead and scroll, as you can see here, through all the records. Okay, so don't panic if you like, I don't see them all here. It's just going to give you a preview of the page, and you can scroll through the records one by one. And again, over here, you can scroll through the records as well, edit, and choose who you want to print a label for, or go ahead and uncheck the record and not include them here. In any case, let's go ahead and click Next to complete the merge. And you can either print or edit the individual labels. Click on Edit all of them, click OK, opens it up, and then what I do from here is I don't automatically stick the labels in the printer and print this off because sometimes the printer and the margins in my Word document don't match up, so I could have a label with text that's printing on the label itself outside of the margin. So what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and print the first page on a blank sheet of paper, take that, put it behind a blank sheet of labels, and hold it up to the light so that way I can see if my text is right on that label or outside of it. If it's on the outside, then I can come in here and go, okay, I need to take that border of this table here and click and drag and move it in. So it brings it in so it's not on the outside. Because what you see here doesn't necessarily convert exactly to the size of the page. So you may have to, adjust your labels accordingly and push them over so this doesn't get cut off or print the last part of the first label. And then when you print this off, hold it up to a sheet of labels behind some light, and you can see that it looks all good. Then you can go ahead and put your labels in and click print and not waste all that time. Okay, let's go ahead and close out of here and don't save it. I'm going to close out of here, not save it, and reopen this document again and say yes, I do want to connect it to the database. Click yes, and let's go over the mailings to the Start Mail Merge step by step, and let's go back to step 1. Because the last one that I want to cover is the directory. Now the directory is just like it sounds. If you have a list, if you want to create a phone list of all the clients' first name, last name, and their phone. If you want to go ahead and create a company phone list, well, first of all, have the database for all the employees within your company, and be sure to have their extensions, and well, put it into a directory. So let me go ahead and select it, click Next, and I'm going to use the current document, click Next to arrange it because I'm going to use the same database. And then I can insert my merge fields, again, if it's a company directory, first name, insert the merge field last name, and then insert the merge field if we had one for extension, so insert there. And of course, you probably wouldn't have all this, so we'll just do the first name. Let's delete that. Let's just do first name here. Hit enter, give it some space, and then click next to preview the directory, and then when I complete the merge and I go to a new document and I say all of them, there you go. Dear Doug, well, of course I could have deleted the dear here and had their extension. So Doug is at extension 516. If I had the merge field, it would show up here. Then Homer's extension, Wilberforce extension, just like a directory there. Okay. Let me go ahead and close out. Don't save it. And last but not least, everything that you have over here in the wizard is available up here on the ribbon. And what I mean by that is that you don't have to start your mail merge. Is that you don't have to go down to step by step. You can actually just click on directory labels here and it brings it up. Go ahead and choose 5160. Well, that's my label here. Click OK. It's going to wipe everything off. Click OK. It's got next record all updated. So if I just want to create a label, like a return address label for me, so the hundreds of letters that I send out each month, I want a label. So I'll type in my information here. Then when I'm done, go ahead and click Update All Labels. And then let's go next to preview it. That code next record disappears, and hey, I've got a bunch of return address labels. In fact, if you want to get fancy on this, you can click over here, maybe hit enter or move the text over and insert, a picture like, a big K for Kurt Kershaw, or maybe a bunch of birds because maybe I changed my logo because we love birds, or whatever goes with my return address label here. Cool. And like I said, again, everything you have in your task pane everything that you have in this task pane you have up here, like the update labels button. That was in the task pane. Merge fields, greeting line, address block, that was in the task pane. Finish and merge, you can do it here and just go right to print the documents. Like I said, you don't have to use this, so if you're a real pro, you don't need help with that task pane. Well, I must not be a real pro because I like the task pane. In any case, you can do it one way up here on the ribbon or using the step-by-step wizard in the task pane. Okay, when it comes to selecting a recipient over here in the task pane, step 3, we can either go ahead and pull it from Microsoft's Outlook program, the database in there, or we can select it from or we can go ahead and choose a Microsoft Excel workbook and select our data from that, or we can go ahead and create one, and when we type in a new list, it saves it so you can open it up in the Access program. So the 3 programs of Microsoft Office that you can use for your database are Access, Excel, and Outlook. But did you know you can also use Word? This is how you do it. Come up here and let's create a new Word document. Click on the File tab, go down to New, and double-click on Blank Document. And to create a database in here, all you have to do is insert a table. Come up here, click on Insert, go to Table, and I don't know, it depends on how many fields you want in your table. I'll do a 4x2 table, click on it, and what you want to do here is in the top row is type in the labels for each column here. And what you want to do for the top row is type in the labels for each column here. So the first column is going to be for first name, okay, hit the tab key, last name, and then maybe phone, and then extension, okay. Hit the tab key to go to the next row, and then I can start typing in my records. So for this column, it's going to be the first name, Joe. Hit the tab key, and then of course you just keep on going down, and every time I hit the tab key, it'll add another row. Well, you can watch my training video on tables here. You get the idea, right? Let me do one more. Okay, when I'm finished, go ahead and save it. Let me click Save. Let me go to my desktop. I'll save it on the desktop and call it Spiffy Database. Okay, click Save. And basically, so you know what's going on again, When I use this as my database, it's going to look at the table. I don't want anything else within the document, and in the table, it's going to look at the first row as my header row, or the label row, or the label row. So I can say, okay, this labels this entire column. It's going to be first name. That labels that entire column. It's going to be last name. So let's close out. Go back to our document here. Let's select a different list. Click Desktop. And there it is, my spiffy database. Double click. And again, as we just learned, that the fields that I have in one database when I switch to another database may not have the same, may not be named the same, because the database I use in my Excel workbook is first name, and the field that it found in my Word document is first. So do you want to go ahead and replace it? The first name with the first, or we can just go ahead and remove it, and then videos, remove that. And then it pulled in these two records. Cool, right? Go ahead and click OK, and then I can go ahead and now insert the correct merge fields. Come up here, insert first, space, last, and then, if I wanted to insert their phone number, there it is, their extension. And then I can go ahead and navigate and bounce back and forth between those two records that I have, and looks good. Go ahead and finish the wizard, and there you go. So you can use Microsoft Word also as a database source. Why would you want to use it? Well, maybe if you have another database that Microsoft can't connect to here, Word, but you can export it into a text format that you can then export into Microsoft Word, and that you can go ahead and convert into a table. See, there's ways you can get around that. This may be one. Especially if you don't have Microsoft. Just the compatibility between all the programs to try not lose all your work may be worth the effort if you need to use Word. In any case, it's there for you to use. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel to get notified of the latest videos. And for great specials on my products, please see the description below this video.